Have you ever noticed how differently women look at a man in his 50s when he is still lean, strong, and full of energy? I do not mean a man who is trying too hard to look young. I mean a man who looks healthy, calm, and in control of himself. Women notice that. They may not always say it directly, but they notice. A fit man in his 50s stands out because it is not something you see every day. For many men, getting older becomes an excuse. They lose energy and say, well, this is just what happens with age. Aging is real, of course, but there is a big difference between getting older and giving up. From a woman's point of view, a man who stays fit after 50 sends a message before he even speaks. His body tells a story. It says he has discipline. It says he has standards. It says he does not just spout off about self-improvement. He actually lives it, and that is attractive. Attraction is not only about a perfect face or body. A lot of it boils down to what a woman senses about a man's lifestyle. Does he respect himself? Does he keep promises to himself? Does he move through life with assertiveness and confidence? A lean, strong man in his 50s often gives that impression naturally. He does not need to brag. His presence already says something. Wouldn't it be easier for him to stop caring, eat whatever he wants, avoid exercise, and say, I'm getting older anyway? Of course it would. That is exactly why he stands out. Most people choose comfort. They want better health, but not the routine that creates it. So when a man reaches his 50s and still looks sharp, capable, and alive, women often read that as rare. Many men think women judge every wrinkle and gray hair, but most of the time that is not the point. A woman is usually not asking, is this man perfect? She is asking, what kind of man is this? A fit body at 50 answers part of that question. It says he has not become careless. It says he has not surrendered to comfort. It says he still values strength, health, and self-respect. Some men believe that once they get older, women literally do not even cross their minds when thinking about attraction. They assume they are invisible. But that is not always true. A man who carries himself well can still be noticed, not because he is trying to look young, but because he looks alive. On the other hand, you never get called out for letting yourself go. Nobody stops you and says, your energy is fading. Nobody calls you out for slowly becoming a weaker version of yourself. But women notice the result. They notice when a man looks tired and disconnected from his body. They also notice the opposite. They notice when he stands tall, moves well, and has calm assertiveness and confidence. That is why being fit in your 50s is not only about appearance. It changes the way people read you. To women, it can suggest discipline, stability, self-respect, and emotional control. Not because muscles solve everything, not because looks are the only thing that matters, but because the body often reveals the habits behind the man, and habits reveal character. So when a man in his 50s is lean, strong, and healthy, women may not simply see an older man. They may see something much rarer, a man who did not give up.